Okay, so for this video, we are going to be drawing Arlathia again. I'm doing a little bit differently this time. So it's just her as a tiny little drawing, which you'll see. So there's the sketches. This is what I have so far, and I'm pretty happy with her. So we'll see how she goes. Stay tuned. Alright, so now we're on to the drawing part. So these are the pencils I'm using for all those pastel freaks, and then I have my erasers. So these are just regular whatchamacallit pencils. I don't even know. Mechanical, that's the word. I don't really use them. They were given to me, so I thought I'd use them. So 0.5 and 0.7. Well, here's the sketching part of Arlathia. So I'm doing her legs, which honestly the sketch part I thought turned out really nice, like the beginnings of it. So I was pretty fond of them. So I was like, okay, this is a good place. Like even just in general, with the way I was drawing her, I was like, this is actually going really, really well. But she's also very small. I think this is a 3x4 because I normally work on a 6x8, but I cut it in half, so I'm on a 3x4, which I do prefer small drawing sizes because they're just easier for me to manage. So that is what we're doing. But it also just makes it quicker for me. But because it's smaller, it's like I have an easier time of getting like things more correct because the bigger it gets, the worse I am about that. So, but so far, we're looking pretty good. So, but yeah, so quick sketches. So this lighter pencil I just kind of put down with like, I'm darkening up like the greener lines to kind of figure out what lines I actually want to use, because sometimes I can have like a bajillion different lines going on at one time. So I like to use that semi-darker pencil to help figure out what actual lines I'm using. And then we'll go in, as you can see, with this darker one and finish up. So now I can put in more details and actually, you know, finish putting in the lines I need. And then some detail, not all of them, because I will go back later as usual, and if you see my other videos, and re-outline her, because when I use my Prismacolor pencils later, it kind of erases a line, so to me there's no point in me doing multiple lines if they're going to get changed. So yeah, this is where we're at. But yeah, sketch-wise, I'm pretty happy. I think she turned out pretty good, honestly. So I might have to start resorting to, at least when I do characters, like my OCs like this, I'll resort to probably smaller drawings like from now on, just because it's easier until I do multiple characters and move on to a bigger page. But for now, it's easier doing it this way. So, but normal drawings, I'll stick to my 6x8. But at least for these, I'm going to do smaller ones because they're, to me, more easier to manage. So, and they just kind of look a lot better to me than if I made them bigger. So it's just helpful. But yeah, so overall, yeah, this foot was kind of giving me a problem. It doesn't look the best at the very end, but I did what I could at the time. And again, overall, I'm very happy with how she turned out. So I think it's pretty good. Because I haven't drawn her for a while, so I actually had to reference a piece of paper I had. Because I was like, I have like 3 other clothes designs in my head right now. And I was like, what does she look like again? But here's the end of the drawing phase. So now we'll move on to the next part. Alright, so I have her outlined. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this big ass ruler. Yes. And we're going to do these lines. I like using this. I know it's like really big, but I like to use it when I want lines as even as possible. So we're probably going to, you can't see them, but there's, well, barely, but there's these lines, these big black ones. So that's how far out I'm going to take it. Since I've outlined, I don't have to worry about erasing something that was needed. So, trick part is I also gotta make sure y'all can actually see what I'm doing, because sometimes I forget that. Alright. I think I'll be able to find it whenever I go to outline. I think. I hope. Okay. There's that one. So I'm thinking I might do a little baby line, a very skinny one, for the blue part, because this will be black, blue. And then I'll probably do the same thing for the greens, I think. and then I just have it as a block. Because then we'll do blue, probably a semi-thicker line, maybe almost just like for the green, maybe, and the rest of it will be dark green in the back. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Ooh, am I gonna be able to do this? That's the question. Okay, so I already like little pluses right here, so I'm just gonna use a little pluses because I think that's fine. Because the blue is kind of there. Technically, it's not supposed to exist because in my stories, everybody has, you know, 3 colors for 3 elements. Obviously, I made her special because she's got 4. Ooh, how do I want to do this? So, that's why the blue isn't, like, has the biggest role. It just adds that little bit of extra color in there. But, like, I think it works. To me, it does anyway. But it's also, like, that's part of my color scheme. So, oh, that is not a good line. I don't know what I did. That was not a good line. I did not use the right one. Oh, you know why? Because I'm being a dum-dum. Oh, wait, but how am I gonna do this? Oh, I probably should just... It might help if I turn the paper. Or not. Okay. Oh, you can't even... It's also annoying sometimes doing it like this, because... Oh, fuck. It's still not... What the hell am I doing wrong? Everything. I'm doing everything wrong. But... Oh, shit. I don't think I've gone stupid, but I might have. I don't know. Alright, we're gonna... Okay. Close enough for right now. I'll fix it whenever I do the last part. So now... I think... I'm gonna use these lines here to do this. Okay. You can probably tell I don't do this very often. I just don't really ever have a need. Because whenever I do my comics, I kind of just do the lines where I want them. Okay. Alright. So I'm not gonna bore you with putting actual lines, like you'll see that later, but now I'm just gonna use this little baby ruler, finish it up, and then we'll be back for the marker portion. Alright, so we made it to this point now. So now I just gotta color this. But this, I just did the single layer of color because I'm gonna do a little bit more with the pencil later. But yeah, so I split up the elements. I have 8 and 8. That's a light yellow, not white. It scared me for a second. I'm like, no, I use yellow. It's this one. Maybe, if it wants to read. Anyway, it says barium yellow. It's not gonna read. But now we're gonna work on this part. So I'm gonna lay down the color. My base color. These. And then we'll finish off with the markers for the final round. Yeah, so I do, but whenever I color these, I just kind of lay down the color first. And it's funny because I'm actually having to go back and reference this because I haven't drawn her for a bit. And it's just like, because I was working on my other characters as well, I have like so many different designs now in my head that I'm like, wait, what does she have? Because they're all like, all the clothes are variations of this, since this is my first one. Now I'm like, so it's like hard to remember. I'm like, what clothes do you have? Which is probably really bad to say as a creator, but I can't help it. And I still technically have I actually have 3 more types of clothing I have to make. But oh, I just messed that up. Shit. It's fine. Yeah, normally I always start with like the main color first because it's the easiest one. So I just kind of go in the order of technically the way the colors appear. So it's like you have the main, then you got your secondary, and then you got your third technically. But because I made her special and she has 3 colors, or 4 colors, now I can't count. I can do a little bit differently. But it just makes it easier to do it this way. So I know where everything is. Okay. And that should be it. Unless I missed something, and if I did, I'll come back to it later. Like this little baby spot right here behind her, which is just that. Alright, so now we'll go back in with this one. Okay. Yeah, so now that I'm doing the other colors, they don't have nearly as much now as like the dark green one did. So they'll just be less and less as we go, which it can make it a little bit difficult sometimes to lay the color down, especially with the ears and whatnot, because technically if the blue was not there, this would almost be like perfectly divided. But that's why the black and the blue, there's not that much in there, is because they're essentially sharing the same space. So it just makes it a little more difficult. That's why if you look at my comics and I do like the super tiny drawing, I'll just do the outlines of the characters. Like I won't add any detail in, because it's like the more detail I do, the worse it gets. Oh, and this little part here is not a mistake. It's the glove. I don't know what that's considered, but like the end of the glove. And then they have rings is what I give them. And this story, it's just like, it's special is what it is. It's kind of like the relationship status, if you will. That's the whole purpose of it. It's like each time it moves on the finger, it's for a particular reason. Okay. Definitely the hardest two colors to separate sometimes are the black and the dark green. Because when I go to color them, like here, they look so similar sometimes that it's hard to tell. That's why it's like, it's good that I have the black and the light green in there. Or I guess the lighter green to help break it up. But I can't help it. It's just the colors look so good. And I'm like, the color combo. I'm also doing this on purpose. Every time you see black, green, and blue, you think me. Get that in your head now. Hee hee hee. But I don't know. That's why I also picked those colors. I just think they're good colors. But like green is my favorite color. And then like I like black furniture. And like just like a black interior or whatever, like a car or something. I just think it looks so nice. Like I don't like white. Like I do not have white in my room. Because I don't like it. It just looks bad. That's why it's black. But, so there's this. So now I'm going to speed up the part of doing the marker. Alright, so now we're on to the actual marker part after the lay down. But yeah, so you can kind of see that's how I always like plan out my colors. I know what they're going to be, but I still like to lay them down first before I actually continue the color. So now we're just doing the base marker color, so I'm just trying to get it in there. It's not perfect, but that's okay. But when I was doing the marker, I was actually trying to do almost like scratchy lines just to kind of give like an indication of a fur texture. Not that it worked out too well, but again, like I also don't blend my markers because I just don't. I probably should, but yeah, no. I also just like to have the shading in there. That's just me. I don't like it to be light. I like it to be pronounced and known. But so that's what we're doing right now. So yeah. But like with the clothes, I was almost doing more of a almost like straight line. Like I wasn't really trying to get it scratchy. Which kind of helped. Just to kind of differentiate between the fur and the clothes. To make it a little easier. Like I know the colors are all the same, but it's just makes sense to have different textures going on. But again, because I don't do all the extra detail right away, I kind of have to do a tiny bit of detail, but not completely. It's like just enough to kind of cover it. Well, that's pretty much it. But yeah, so with the black though, I just use black and purple for marker, and then later on I'll go back in with the pencil and we'll add a little bit more. But yeah, like even on the tummy, I was trying to a little bit of scratchy fur. And yeah, for the rest of it, pretty smooth, pretty chill. But I know a lot of people kind of like blend them out and everything. I don't. I just kind of lay the color down. I used to actually do 5 marker colors, but then I just changed it to 3 because I thought 3 was easier, and it was like just unnecessary to do 5 because I think I got too dark at that point, especially if I'm adding in pencil. So it just kind of helped lighten it up a tiny bit, which you'll see here pretty soon the difference. Okay, so now we're going to finish off Arlathia. So these are the pencils. These are my main colors, if you will, so they stay in a separate tin. Plus it's a nice tin, I don't want to get rid of it. And these are all pretty much shadings. These are her main colors that I already have here. And then these are going to be for the actual like elements for their highlight colors. So now we're going to get into it. Well, this is the blender, so that doesn't count, but we won't say nothing about that. That's just going to be sitting in there. So, but yeah, so now we're going to get into it and finish her up coloring wise, and then we will outline her. Alright, so for the coloring, what I'd like to do is I go back in with like my lightest color, which this one's a true green, which I use for the dark green. I used to use a jade, but I don't think they sell jade by itself, so I just changed this into a true green, which I think looks a lot better actually. And then I'll go in with the base color, which is my dark green here. I have started to actually include one color of the opposite, color family, so like green and red, just one, because it darkens it up a tiny bit, which kind of helps. So I was just trying to do something a little bit different. I also use indigo blue and an olive green. The olive green doesn't really do anything, but I feel like it helps tone down the red some, so the red's not like super bright and apparent. So I'm like, I don't want it to stand out that much. And here we have a chartreuse. I have an apple green. I think I used a poppy red. I have a grass green and a lime peel. But the lime peel is super light. Like the lime, again, lime peel doesn't show anything. But again, I also think it kind of helps tone down a bit of the red. So yeah, so now I'm just kind of going through with the rest of this. It's just adding lights and darks. So we already have it laid down. And then I do, blend it out with the pencil. Like on the fur, I was trying to do a little bit of a fur texture. Nothing super crazy, but I was trying. So yeah, we were giving it a go. I mean, again, it kind of works, but also because it's Prismacolor, like they just blend. So, and this is also marker paper, so it's like it's not like pencil texture. I mean, the pencil obviously looks fine on here, like it blends nicely. So I can't really get like a fur pattern texture, but it doesn't bother me because it's not really my style. Because I think with this and the way it blends, it gives the impression of fur without it actually like looking like fur, which to me looks actually kind of cool. So it's a little bit different than what you would normally see. And then I go back in with the white, just add in some little extra highlights here and there. It's not like super apparent, but it's still there just to kind of give a bit of a touch because I don't use gel pens. I've tried, but because of the pencil, I can't. So I just adapted to using a white pencil, which to me works just as fine. It's not super obvious, but I'm okay with that. It's very subtle and it works fine. So now with the elements, I picked their highlight color and their regular color. So I didn't really know what I was doing. But with the highlight color, I was kind of just putting it in places, and then wherever I didn't put it, I would put like the actual color and just blend them out. They're not, it's not like, again, not super apparent, but it's subtle and it's nice. It just, again, it just adds a little bit of something to it. Obviously, yellows, you really won't be able to tell there's anything there. Not that big of a deal, it's yellow. So what I did with the blacks here, or the black, I know it's black on black with the border, is I left like a little bit of a white space around the black part of the element, and then I just used the purple to color around the black, and then when I did the black on the inside, I just blended it together so it wasn't like, it stands out, but that's some point because it's the black border. When I do my other characters, because I have orange, red, and white, which are the main colors, when I do the black border, which I'm going to because the black border is just my thing, because I just think the black makes everything kind of pop more. It won't be as bad, like it'll be obvious, but it's just, yeah, the black on black was a bit of a problem, but I'm like, it kind of works, so I'm like, I'll deal with it, it's okay. And then yeah, I go back in with the white here as well, again, just to kind of add in a little bit more like shininess to it, kind of like how elements kind of should be. And then yeah, so we have the blue. So like I use cloud blue for my true blue here, which it kind of stands out a little bit. Again, I don't want it to be, super apparent. It's just supposed to kind of blend together and just add a little bit of shininess, if you will, which I think looks pretty good. But yeah, so that's my spring green and my yellow chartreuse. So I think I use sand in a lemon yellow for this one. Like, I know all my colors because I have 16 main colors. And then I have whatever colors I use for their shading, like, because they're all pretty much pretty regular. So I don't really change them out too much, just because it just, like, they work for me, so I just stick with it. But yeah, so go back and blend these again just a little bit, so they're not super standoutiness. but looks nice and smooth like it's supposed to and flows in. Okay, but here she is finished. So overall, I'm actually pretty happy with her. Like, this could use work, but I do kind of like it a little bit better because it gives a little bit of more form to them. But overall, turned out pretty nice. But here's her close up, hopefully without as much glare. Gonna try and point her down some so it's not, because it's the head on, which I guess that's not too bad. But she's probably one of my better ones, of her at least. So looking pretty good. So we'll see what I come up with for the next time. But thank you guys for watching. And if you want to know more of what I do, like if you want to see more, I do comics of characters. I have at least, I think, 21 pages of their comic done so far. And I started 2 other comics. I'm about to start a 3rd one. No, 4th one. And then I just do like dragons and dinosaurs and mythological creatures and stuff is what I like doing on here. I also have a studio vlog. But that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!